Warning, if you do not like to see equestrians mess up and make mistakes, this video is not for you. Click away. I make lots of mistakes all the time. There's no need to be negative about it, and there's no need to be rude about it. It's just a fact of riding. And I like to show the good and the bad on my channel, because no one is perfect 100% of the time. And if you think someone is, they're probably lying to some degree. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I apologize for being late on this. I have a ton of midterms going on right now. But in this video, I'm going to be showing y'all how I prepare for show season. So it's going to be some jumping, dressage, basic tack stuff, etc. So let's get right into it.
Okay, I figured we would start by showing how I prep for jumping. Now, this upcoming show is a combined test of jumping and dressage, but I think people find the jumping more exciting. So we do a little cross rail. We are supposed to trot here. We don't, but we still make it through no problem. One of the reasons I could not get him to trot was because this is not my saddle. My saddle got fitted later, and then we jumped in it later, and it was much better, and I had much more control in general. And then we're gonna go all the way around to our next fence.
Anyway, we are going to trot to change our lead because I still don't have the lead changes down great, and this jump is beautiful. I kind of want to do some special equitation classes with him because it's so cute how he jumps and how he moves his body correctly and keeps himself through. Now we do another trot change, and we're gonna go to the inside of the blue and brown vertical to approach this little cross rail two-stride thing. We botch it terribly, and I lose both my stirrups, but we're fine because I'm kind of sticky in my seat. Now we're gonna approach them again, and it's gonna go better this time. We are still going to chip into this fence, but I don't lose my seat and position and everything, so I consider it a huge win. Next, we're gonna do this little bounce, and it's very little, very low, but it's still good because it helps me with my seat and position as well. And we're done. I'm pretty happy with that.
We just had a saddle fitting and it fits really well. He likes it, so that's really good. A big part of showing is making sure your horse is comfortable in the tack they're in my opinion. Yes, we did very light work though, because it's loud today.
Now, this is me jumping a 2'6" course in the saddle that I had fitted. The saddle fits me a lot better than the one I was using, so it just helps me be a lot better and stable. As you can see, I didn't use my upper body enough there, but my leg was still pretty good. So now we're just going around. The first two jumps are pretty decent, they're not terrible. And then we jump into this little bending line combination thing, and we do biff it a little bit, but once again, he's a perfect horse. Now, this is super sketchy, but he's such a good boy and literally jumps anything in front of him, and I'm so thankful for that because, oh my god, he's just amazing. We take that one a little long, so he gets a little pumped, but it's okay. Next, we're going into this little oxer. Once again, very cute. Then we get the front, but not the hind, so we have to do just a quick trot change to pick up the next lead. We did not get the hind because I'm not strong enough in my core or upper thigh yet to support him for that. Hopefully in the next month or so, I will be much stronger and be strong enough to support him. Now we're going for this two-stride, and we really had to push for it, which made me super nervous, but I was pretty happy with him, so I gave him a quick pat, and then we are going to go around to our final jump, this yellow one right here. Now, it's just going to be a little long approach, nice settled, chip in, but overall acceptable and decent. As you can see, my lower leg is a lot more stable than in the last video. Now we are going in for our dressage test. There will be kittens running across center line in a few seconds. That's Polka right there. And what's kind of weird about dressage tests for me in the eventing world is you don't halt and salute in the beginning, but whatever. So a lot of this was focused on me keeping him straight because for some reason I'm sitting harder on one seat bone than the other seat bone, so it's kind of making him do like a little haunches in kind of action. But as you can see, it's going pretty well. I mean, it's a rather simple dressage test. It's circle, circle, walk. Go across the diagonal, circle, circle, circle. So it wasn't too bad, but it's really just that idea of keeping going and keeping it all under control. As you can see, he pooped while trotting, so he's very, very talented. And then here we're supposed to canter in the first half of the circle. And we do. It's a decent transition. Not the best, but not the worst. Geometry was crap. And then I fell out of the transition too soon because I did not keep enough of an inside leg. We went back and redid that a whole lot later, and it was fine. We bowed out from the rail a little bit because I was too hard on my inside leg and my rein. Now we're walking, going into the corner. I'm trying to get him to pull his pole up. So something about him is because of how his blaze is situated, it makes him look perpetually behind the vertical. He's not. It trips me up a lot too, but he's not. Now we jigged a little bit in the corner, and then we go to our free walk, which is pretty good. I mean, with most free walks, it gets better towards the end, and as you can see, we're getting more relaxed and more swingy towards the end. He does dip below the vertical in the free walk, which I do not like, but I needed to push him more forward, and I did not. Now I'm going to gather him up, return to a medium walk, and then eventually return back to trot. As you can see, we're jigging because he's a little excited about everything, which is fair. I'm really stressed as well because this is the first time I've been in a dressage court in about a year. So it was stressful. Not to mention this is a short court as well, which I've never really ridden in before, which once again stressed me out. Now, this circle's geometry was a little better. We didn't really hit the rail as much as I would have liked, but when the poles are on the ground, I tend to stay off the rail a little bit more because I know if I push too hard with my inside leg, we might end up just leg yielding out of the court, which is not what we want to be doing. Now, once again, we're going to do a canter transition in the first fourth of the circle. That was a gorgeous transition, and we get a little winging out here. But overall, the geometry was not terrible. Now, we get a trot transition. I was asking for it much sooner, but didn't get it. I was also using too much flexion on the inside rein here a lot, so that's why his face is kind of crooked in some situations. I rode this test again. Well, I rode parts of it again later, and we kind of fixed that. But this is just the only video I have of me doing the full test. As you can see, he's such a cutie. He's got very cute gaits. And then we go to a walk and a halt. And overall, it wasn't that bad. Next, I am going to be going into the tack cleaning. So this is all that I need to clean, and a kitty checking it out because the smells are very, very interesting. So we have some reins, some boots someone lent me, a girth, my saddle, just a whole bunch of stuff that's really nasty and we need to get cleaned. Here is a shirt that I hand washed in the sink and I am drying with a heating pad. I don't recommend you do that, but I did. Now, here's me cleaning out the horse boots. So what I do is I will put Clorox on the inside just to try and kill any of that old bacteria from the sweat or anything like that, because I just feel like it's more sanitary. I also Clorox the outside as well, because it's just one of the easiest ways that I can really get all the gunk off. Every now and then I'll add a little bit of water to them once they've been thoroughly disinfected, because if they're thoroughly disinfected, I can just add the water to help get some of that mud and gunk off as well. Now, I want the inside to return to a nice black, and I can't really get the straps on the underside to clean super well because they're white, but I just didn't want to start washing them. Anyway, I'm also watching TV while doing this and chatting because, I mean, what else are you gonna do? It takes forever to clean tack. To clean everything, it took me about an hour and a half, which honestly isn't that bad. However, it's still super annoying, but it has to be done because no one wants to look bad during their show. In my opinion, there are very few things you can control in your life, and especially while showing. You never know if your horse is gonna get loose, God forbid they pull up lame, or something terrible happens in warm-up that freaks your horse out. So, I try and look as best I can because that is something I can control. Now here I am scrubbing the girth, once again using Clorox because I'm just trying to get all that nasty sweat and grease off while also disinfecting it, just to make sure that everything is clean and healthy for my horse, because that is my top priority. Once again, I highly recommend watching something or doing something else to distract you, because I've sped these up a bunch so you didn't have to sit through everything. But yeah, to help dry out my boots, I will also shove paper towel inside of them, because I find that that helps keep it nice and clean, while also promoting my boots to dry faster. Now, we're going to move on to the boots, take a quick water break, and I'm going to start scrubbing them with water, and I'm going to start scrubbing them with also water and Dawn dish soap. Now, I know everyone's like, oh my god, that's a cardinal sin, but it's really the best and most effective way that I find to get all that gunk off of it, especially compacted dirt with things like leather conditioner. I also absolutely love to use a toothbrush. There, you can see I just showed you like the little bowl that I use where I keep the water and Dawn dish soap mixture. It's basically a 1-to-1 ratio. Every now and then I have to clean the toothbrush off as well, just to kind of get some of that dirt out. I'm also going in with like a little fine tool just to pick grime out of some of the much denser areas that would be harder for the toothbrush to get. I find that a toothbrush is the best, especially a sensitive, soft toothbrush, because it's not really going to hurt your leather, but it is going to help get that stuff off. I just do smooth circular motions, wipe off the excess to see how I'm doing, reapply, and just continue doing that until all that gunk is off. Now, I do put the boot on sometimes because it's helpful to give it just a lot more shape. You can use stuff like boot fillers, but I find for things like the toe and the sides and the laces, it's just easier to clean if it's on the actual foot, because then it's in the position that it's going to be in while you're riding, so you can also see if anything changes, and if there are any parts revealed that weren't revealed when the boot is not on your foot that you should clean, because no one wants to have to edit their photos or anything like that to make their boots look more black or cover up this little spot of mud or dust or whatever. Now, granted, this is a schooling show and not like a rated show, so it doesn't matter as much, but I still try and take pride in my appearance as much as possible, and I really would like cute pictures because, let's be honest, that's half the reason you go to shows anyways.
Now, my camera did cut out here, so it skipped the second part of the boot cleaning, but here I am just applying some nice leather balm, and that is why I can wash my boots with water, because I properly condition them afterwards. I use Effix and it makes them super shiny and super pretty, and they just look gorgeous. It rejuvenates them so well. I love it. Now it is time for us to move on to my saddle. My saddle is an Adam Ellis saddle that I bought on consignment, and I absolutely love it. I think Adam Ellis's are some of the best saddle brands because they really make their saddles to fit, and they have a huge emphasis on the correct tree, which I find a lot of modern saddle brands like Antares or CWDs don't really care about that as much. I tend to use my hands to apply my leather balm to my saddle. It's just easier, and honestly, it's an amazing moisturizer. If your hands are ever cracked or anything like that, and you're in a pinch, you can use, in theory, your saddle conditioner. I've just used Effix. I haven't tried any other ones, but I love it. Now, it's nice and shiny. It will lose its shine as it gets absorbed into the tack. You'll see when you put it on, some spots immediately aren't shiny anymore because they're just so dehydrated. Anyway, I'm doing the billets here now because it's extremely important that those are well conditioned, because otherwise they can break. And that is not a lot of fun. If you've ever had a saddle break off your horse while riding, it is traumatizing for both you and the horse. Now, I'm just doing the other side, and then my camera is going to cut out again. But here it is conditioned and wrapped up, and now I'm done.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Those are the 3 main ways that I have prepped for this next show season. I'm hoping to have the next video out in about a week, so not the normal 2 weeks. So if you want to see that, subscribe, like. If you have any questions about anything I did, comment down below. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, it's dangerous, so don't die out there.